The next type of agency, or the next method in creating an agency, is ratification. Now, before we go on to ratification, let's quickly look at how a normal agency relationship operates. Firstly, the principal gives authority to an agent to contract on behalf of him with the third party. In terms of ratification, the circumstances are somewhat skewed and is dependent upon the time in which certain actions took place. Now, in relation to ratification, an agent contracts without authority with a third party. Now, let us assume that this contract took place on the 1st of January 2015. However, at this juncture, there was no authority provided by the principal to the agent. Ratification occurs when the principal retrospectively gives authority, for instance 4 days later on the 5th of January 2015. Thereby, the agency relationship becomes effective from the day of the act itself, which is the 1st of January 2015. Now, this cannot be done haphazardly either. For instance, there are several requirements that must be fulfilled in order for a ratification to be enforceable, to be active or effective for that matter. Firstly, the most notable thing is whatever the act that the agent has done in relation to the contract that he has established with the third party without authority must be a legal act. Beyond this, there are certain requisites that must be fulfilled. Number one, at the time of the transaction, the agent should have acted on behalf of the principal, as in for the benefit of the principal. Have a look at National Oil Well and Davy Offshore, a case available in your case summaries. Number two, the agent must have disclosed to the third party that he is in fact an agent of a principal. What this means is there need not be a full disclosure of who the principal was, but at least a partial disclosure. The agent should have mentioned that he is working on behalf of someone, as in made the representation to the third party that he is an agent. Number three, the third party must have believed that the agent has the required authority in order to contract on behalf of the principal. Number four, the principal, and this is important, must be competent at the time of the contract itself as well as the time of ratification. Now, the competency of the principal refers to several things. For instance, it can mean that the principal should not have been bankrupt. The principal should not have been an enemy of state. And also, the principal should have been of sound mind, specifically during ratification. Number five, ratification must be within reasonable time. Now, in the example that we considered earlier, between the act and the ratification was less than a week. That can be considered as reasonable time. However, months and years after the act itself might not be feasible or practical for that matter. Now, while all of these requirements might be fulfilled in any given case, it must be noted that ratification is at the complete discretion of the principal. The third party has no apparent possibility of enforcing an agency relationship where there was none existent. What this means is it's a protection for both the principal and the agent. In this instance, the principal has justified the acts of his agent or the agent in order to create an agency relationship and to bind the contract. Have a look at Bolton Partners and Lambert, another case available in your case summaries for a better understanding of how this affects the principal, the agent, as well as the third party. Now, there are several effects of ratification, as you might be aware. What a ratification means for the principal is that there is an automatic contract that has now been established between the third party and himself. Thereby, he is liable to any remedy that is required if the third party has suffered a loss. Conversely, the agent is indemnified from anything that occurs thereafter, since the principal has now taken full control of the contract. The third party now has the opportunity of going direct and suing the principal if there is some sort of breach or if there is some sort of remedy that is required.